The following is a presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. Well, hello and good evening. It is Thursday, September 14th, 2023. Welcome to the only show about Spartan Dawgs, hosted by Spartan Dawgs. This is Sparta MSU. I'm your host, Jason Strayhorn, along with my co-hosts, the boss, Otis Wiley, and Jehuu Caulcrick. If this is your first time to the show, we want to welcome you. If this is not your first time, we thank you. If you are in the chat where the party is at, because it's bumping again today, which we appreciate. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button. It helps us a whole lot. Doesn't cost you a thing. And let us know where you're watching us from. Because right now we know you guys are watching us from South Alabama, Independence Sports Bar in Portland, Oregon, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Mr. World Ride.
Yeah, Los Angeles, California. Spartans everywhere. Spartans all over the world. You know, let us know where you're watching us from. We'll give you a shout out. And before we get rolling, we have a special ticket giveaway brought to you by Seatgeek. Click the link in our bios on Twitter, X, or Instagram and enter to win 2 lower bowl tickets for this week's Washington game that kicks off in Spartan Stadium at 5 p.m. Don't forget to get there a little earlier to cheer on the boys as they walk over from the Kellogg in the traditional Spartan walk. It's going to be an exciting time. So enter to win 2 free lower bowl tickets for the game.
Let's not forget, Stray, I don't want to cut you off, but let's not forget Fan Fest, Munfield, Northeast Corner. Come show their love, show your support, because it was jumping last week.
It was, man. It was buzzing over there.
It was buzzing. Let's keep it going, man.
That DJ.
Flint Town, stand up, baby. That's hometown.
That DJ I was getting after it.
It don't take much for Chew to get after it. He was getting after, everybody was. I think I seen, some trustees dancing a little bit over there. It was going down in the Fan Fest. So be sure to get over there as well with those free tickets for the Washington game at 5 p.m. this Saturday. Spartan Athletics Update brought to you by Otis Wiley.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Obviously, women's soccer, you saw us last week. They both competed the same day. Obviously, different opponent, different state. Women's soccer gets the win against NC State, which is a good one. And then obviously did a draw that following against Dayton. And then obviously your next game, please come out, show your love and support this Sunday while they take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. And men's soccer, obviously, got a win versus Dayton, and then got a big win against those Irish. We all know how we feel about the Irish.
Right.
And that is a huge win to go in South Bend and take a win. So kudos to Coach Damon and the squad there. You had goalie Zach Kelly named the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week, which is obviously great when you get those milestones and accomplishments in season. Next game is also Sunday. It's at Rutgers. So let's see how we do, and we compete against the Scarlet Knights, opening up Big Ten play.
Big Ten.
That's right. The week ahead for Spartan Athletics, so you talked about that. But Noah Kim named Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week. Chew, I know this. I'm going to let you take this away.
Why would this guy not be Offensive Player of the Week? The week that he had, going in there, showing such strong command for that offense against Richmond. Ended with 15 straight completions. That's to even have one completion's tough, but go 15 of them. Can I get a him? There we go. It's like when we talk about Noah Kim, it's like church in here now, okay? It's like, but congratulations to Noah. Well earned, well deserved, and let's hope he continues to ride that momentum going into Saturday's game against the Huskies.
That's right, guys. I mean, if you've liking what you've heard so far, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms at This Is Sparta MSU. We'll be back in a moment to break down the game against Washington that's coming up this Saturday after this message from IHOP and SeatGeek.
Introducing new buttermilk biscuits in sweet and savory flavors, so everyone can have their perfect biscuit. Or add one on the side. Get a breakfast biscuit sandwich with a side for just $7 for a limited time.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception? First down? Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Gotta love that. Drop those stacks. Give some high fives. Thank you to our partners over at IHOP and SeatGeek. Now it's time to dive into our preview of the Washington Huskies stat breakdown brought to you by Main Financial Group, Spartan Nation's #1 wealth manager. Be sure to contact Jordan and the guys over in Brighton at 248-347-MAIN, www.mainfinancialgroup.com. Jordan and those guys at Main Financial Group will take great care of you. Chew?
Yeah, this week is going to be it's the week that it's coming down to breaking down the Huskies. The 8th ranked Huskies are traveling across the country, coming into Spartan Stadium with a high-powered offense. Otis, this defense is going to have to be ready because the Huskies ranked first in football in passing offense, averaging 472 yards per game and 6 in total offense. So they're a pass-heavy team. They're a passing team because they can't really run the football. They're ranked 113th out of 131 in rushing, with averaging 93 yards. And I think one of our strengths on the defense is our run, to stopping the run and making them one-dimensional. So it's going to be really interesting, for those points there, from defensive side of the ball, how we take care of those. Michael Penix, he's leading this team. They're 8th in the country in scoring. They're averaging 49.5 points a game, 13th in yards per completion with, every time they throw the football, it's 15.5 yards. It's over a first down every time they throw the football. But their offensive line, sacks allowed, they're also 8th in sacks allowed, only half a sack a game, so really tough offense. The defense is definitely going to have their hands full.
Yeah, and speaking on that, too, you two were at that game last year, and we talked about the 12th man.
You were doing something a little bit more important than welcoming another child.
Absolutely. Listening to y'all on the radio, like, what is going on, son? I was like, honestly, I'm glad I ain't travel there, but
right.
You two were there, and you guys talked about, you can hear it on the radio, on the broadcast. You also could see it, obviously, in the game, that the 12th man, that fan base and that arena or that stadium was rocking. It was a huge advantage. And to this point, this offense is coming to the woodshed in Spartan Stadium for the first time, right? These kids have not traveled to Michigan. Some of these kids have not even been, stepped foot in the state of Michigan. This is the first time. And so for fans that you're listening, you're watching this show, you have to show up and you have to be a force to be reckoned with to make this thing the absolute most loudest environment possible, known to man, where you're basically going into and making this a hard environment to communicate. Because if that happens, that is an advantage for our defense to obviously face this high-powered offense that's ranked in the top 5 in all categories, top 10, 15. But that is an element that we absolutely need. So to your point, too, that stat, it's great. But we absolutely need another stat is show up and be loud.
No question about it. You look at Cameron Davis, who was supposed to be their featured running back, was injured in fall camp. He led the team in rushing a year ago. with about 522 yards, was supposed to be the feature back, but he was injured. So that's why you're seeing the rushing total so low, Chew. So they've become very one-dimensional with Michael Penix. And Otis, you brought up a great point about not many of these players have been to the state of Michigan ever. But Michael Penix Jr., he definitely has been to Spartan Stadium when he played for the Indiana Hoosiers, Chew.
Yeah, he definitely has. He's been to, Spartan Stadium. He's won in Spartan Stadiums. So he's a guy that's very comfortable and familiar with Spartan Stadium. So that's why, as a fan base, that's why as a defense, we have to make him uncomfortable. That's the biggest thing. You don't want to get too, comfortable and then get him back there that he has a lot of time, the connection with receivers are on. And so we have to get him off his game. And that's going to come from, disguises in the defense and also in the crowd noise. You has to be there because it definitely affected us last year when we went there with the crowd noise, getting out of the huddle, making your checks, making your changes, and then look, there's the play clock's running down, the lineman can't hear, so that's going to be a huge part of it as well. So we have to get Michael Penix Jr. off his game.
No question about it. When you talk about breaking the huddle on the road as an offense, trying to communication is key on the offensive side of the ball. So that's why teams in the NFL, you see they have a 3-point loss in the Vegas lines, because of the crowd noise. And in certain crowds, you think about Seattle, the 12th man, those types of places, it's even worse because it's so loud. There's no reason that Spartan Stadium, the Woodshed, whatever you want to call it, on Saturday shouldn't be at an all-time high. You have a top 10 team coming in here. Michigan State's 2-0 and on a roll right now, outscoring opponents 76-21 on the season. You got to be well-oiled, and we all know they're going to be having a couple extra, octanes for you in Spartan Stadium so that you can amp up that volume a little more.
Every time you reference it is a different word.
Hey, we gotta have it. We're talking about alcohol sales, the libations, right? A well-oiled crowd. That's what we need. All of those things, because it affects the game. It just does. I've been in games in Ford Field where it was so loud. Monday Night Football, I remember some years ago, that was so loud. The 49ers, I think it was the Bears, had like 3 or 4 false starts in a row. And that's what the crowd can do to affect the outcome of the game. And there's no reason Spartans shouldn't be able to do that, guys.
Absolutely. I mean, let's talk about roles reversed. Like, we're 11th ranked last year. They're not ranked, and they put it on us, right? Now it's reversed. Now it's our chance to sit there and let's return the favorite, because I think the guys also have said that they knew that they didn't play their best, and that wasn't the product that we obviously put out last year. But it's mission focused right now. What is the slogan? We're prepared, right? I think being prepared we already know when he comes into town, Michael Penix comes into town, he's going to make plays. He is a great player. He got one of the best wide receiver cores in the nation. They're going to make plays. It's all about battling and controlling those big plays and those sudden changes. And how do we make sure we respond to that versus, running away and say, hey, that score starts to get away from us. Controlling the controllables, playing our ball, and I think this is going to be a true testament to how our defense has stacked up as we're ranked as well in those categories. It's going to be a great game at 5 o'clock on Saturday.
On Peacock.
Or WJR, or wherever you can listen to George Blaha and his sidekicks, Jason Strayhorn.
Will says, hey, we're streaming as well. Broadcast,
we're streaming. That's right. Guys, Kalen DeBoer, he's the offensive coordinator from Indiana that took over the head coaching job over at Washington a few years ago. His record, obviously 2-0 coming into this ball game. When you see a coaching change happen like it did at Michigan State, I would assume there's going to be some pressure on the Washington sideline as well, wondering what new wrinkles are going to come out now that they don't really know. Mark D'Antonio's in town, and Mark D'Antonio with Harlan Barnett as the interim head coach, call him the head coach. There may be some defenses they haven't seen, right? There's going to be some stuff that Michael Penix has to prepare for that he just is unsure of.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
you have to do that. And what it does is they're going to prepare, but what it does for the coaching staff, for them, they have to go back now and watch old film of Coach D'Antonio defense, because they know that Coach Barnett, has, it's from the school of Coach D'Antonio, Coach Saban and stuff. So there's going to be some of that those fingerprints on some of those things. I don't think a lot of things is going to change defensively, but just it's the same way. If you don't know who the starting quarterback is, you have to prepare for both. So these guys are going to have to spend extra time watching old film from Coach D'Antonio days, from the no-fly zone, to see, hey, are they going to play, press coverage on us? What are they going to do with the secondary? Are they going to send pressure? What percentage of time, did we send pressure when Coach D'Antonio was the head coach, to what percentage of times do we send pressure now? All those things will have to take play in account, because you have to get your team in the best position to be successful, because it's a chess game out here. If they do this, we do this kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that it is going to be the same business, the same defense, the same schemes as usual, because I think from a Coach D standpoint, he's coming in as a seasoned head coach to help get this transition, get it back on the tide. Now, has he had enough time to even – now he's been – Coach Barnett says he has given his expertise and his knowledge on things, but has he had a chance to really implement some of those D'Antonioisms, those things that are happening, where he's like, hey, I'm going to trust Coach Hazelton as what you're doing, Coach Johnson as what you're doing, but I'm going to be that voice of reason on certain things of what I'm seeing out on the field versus the adjustments. I think that's going to be the piece of adjustments, not game plan implementation, but adjustments on what to see, because we know Coach D has an eye of he knows what that play's developing before it's developing. That's personnel coming from the sideline, running out there on offensive break. He kind of knows from just tendency standpoint, I've been in this game for too long. I know exactly what's about to happen. And I think that's going to be a huge advantage for us, is that he's going to be able to give Hazelton and all the defensive guys and even some of the offensive guys some more, advice and, switcheroos of adjusting, to your point, chess game. I'm going to be way ahead of these moves and being able to stop this attack.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. It's not, the defense isn't going to change much, but to that point, Washington's head coach, he has to prepare the game is going to change.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to spend that extra time in looking at those just in case,
or not
changes.
Or not, though.
Well,
it could be either or, right? That's the thing. It could be either or not. It was hey, we rolling. I don't care what they bring to us. We're going to play our game, but that's a different story. But to your point, both sides will be prepared. But I think it's an element of, we got some more swag goo. We got that Denzel Washington back, baby. We got Mark D'Antonio with that smirk, that smooth boy coming out now.
You know what I would love on the offensive side, if we ran a jet sweep to the short side, just
oh my goodness!
No.
Oh my goodness!
Absolutely not. We haven't had one. We haven't had a jet sweep. Oh,
and then Coach D gives
fake
that
motion.
smirk.
All right, fake. Hey, let's do a fake jet motion play action. I'm down with that. Absolutely not. Especially in the red zone. You know where you're going.
To the short side of the field.
Yes.
We don't want beer cans on Spartan Stadium's field. After that would not be good. Jet sweep to the short side of the field. We haven't seen that in some years. The players to watch for Washington, obviously, Michael Penix Jr., 57 of 78. It's a 73% completion percentage, 859 yards, 8 touchdowns to 1 interception. And they've got receivers coming out of their ears. Jalen McMillan, 215 yards on 16 catches. Rome Odunze, 14 catches for 239, 2 TDs for him. And Jalen Polk, 8 catches for 182. I mean, they've got major firepower on the offensive side of the ball. Jehuu, let's break down some of your offensive film takes that we can review from the Tulsa game against Washington.
Yeah. So we're breaking this down. When our offense is on the field, what are we going to see out of the Washington's defense there? A couple of things that I think we're going to see is it's going to be a confident defense that's going to go out and swarm to the football. So we have this play right here. If we can freeze this for a second here, this play here is they have everyone down in the box. It's short yardage. It's 4th and 2. So they're going to run us. Tulsa's going to run a quarterback lead here. So essentially a quarterback lead. The pre-snap for a running back, if you're in the backfield there or a ball carrier, you're supposed to read the tackle, or if there's a tight end on your side, read the tight end. But then it's the end man on the line of scrimmage. Some teams call it the emo, end man on the line. So what is he going to do? Right now as a running back, okay, this tackle's going to jump him, and then your second thought is you're running to asses, whichever way the tackle's butt's pointed, that's where you're going to go. So you want to stretch it a little bit. It's a lead play coming out here. This running back is supposed to read this and go up and block that middle backer that's there, and the quarterback, sticks his foot. So this is the big thing with Michigan State this week. You do not have time to run east and west. You have to go north and south. One cut this game because this is a penetrating, swarming Washington defense. If we could play that tape there, you'll see where things go wrong. The tailback goes outside when he should go inside and block that, and then that quarterback stick your foot and go upfield on that play. So this defense is going to come ready to swarm you every single time. And then, we have another run play that we will show here. But, the thing is, and here it is right here. They're going. They're playing games on the line. You see up top there, the linebacker, he's hugging up the line there. And then the dude, like almost a TE, a tackle end twist, and he comes in clean. So, Stray, this best. Communication on that offensive line, pass things off. You have to do that. And running backs, this is the type of game where you tighten that chin strap, you bring your lunch pail, because it's going to be that type of downhill hitting here. So if we can play this here, you'll see up top there, that little game that they play is coming in, and it comes in clean right off that. So you got to pass it off there. And so that's a lot of the stuff that they'll do in the run game there to stop the run. They're going to want to try to do different stunts on the offensive line to throw the linemen off their blocks and off their assignments. So we have to play discipline on that.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to play discipline. I've seen that, a week ago, Nick Samac, the center, the Remington Award watch list, he did not play much in game one. He was nursing an upper body injury from over the summer and was working himself back into shape against Richmond. I watched him. He played the majority of the game. Guys like him, it's going to be very important for the offensive line to communicate at the center position what you're talking about right there, what you were saying, proper footwork, shoulders square, and being able to pick up what the defense is giving you as you progress. When they start doing the twist, it's very important that the offensive line doesn't start turning sideways. If you see shoulders sideways and, as you said, asses in the hole, then you can get squeezed into the hole. You got to stay square. Square is strength, so that's something that will provide those running lanes for Nate Carter.
Yes.
Averaging 112 yards per carry, which is important in this. And we have to find somebody who's going to spell him, as you talked about, right, Chu?
Yeah, we have to find someone who's going to have to spell him. But, also, too, now, let's look at when we're throwing the football, what we're going to see is Washington's going to come in with arrogance. They're 2-0. They beat us last year. This is their game. They want to fly around. They're going to man you across. They're going to say, our guy is better than your guy. All right, that's what they're going to want to do. They're going to play that man across, and then they're going to continue to run stunts on the defensive line here. I want to show this play twice, because the first time I want to just take a look at that defensive line where they have stunts that they're running TE tackle end games, and trying to garner pressure with 4 or 5 guys, and across the board now they're saying, hey, our corners are better than your receivers, and we're gonna play that way with some safety help, if need be. So can we play this here, Tony? So down there, they're running twists and games, and they're just playing man across the board. locking the receivers up, safety going over for that easy pick. That's Otis Wiley loving that. That's
the way they threw that ball.
That's
Absolutely
ridiculous. Are you kidding me? Go back to that play. Line that up one more time. Hey, listen. No, hey, Noah, you see this look right here. Go back to the beginning. If we see that look right there, man, that's an underfront classic. But I mean, there's 5 in the box. I don't care. What is it, 3rd and 8? This 3rd and 8 on this play. That's 5 in the box, guys, here.
The fact that this route tree is pretty bad, but it's a standpoint of like, hey, you got mano a mano. All the guys are locked in. This looks like is cover 1 with these 2 safeties over top, right? Clearly, it's easy for the safety to get over at his half standpoint, cover 2 man. But why isn't the slot receiver doing more of a dig route / a curl route to get to the sticks, right? I think you had 2 guys, one guy going to the drag, this deep ball, which was really bad in the standpoint of release, but these guys had them locked up. So there's an element of, to your point, Chew, you got to have a 4th and 5th option with this tight. You got the tight end as well. You got to have an option, which we got Malik Carr as one of our threats. We haven't really said a lot about Malik Carr, but he's been balling the past two weeks, right? So he has to have a solid game. He has to have a day, like absolutely consistency. He needs to be a threat in the passing game.
Yeah, they're going to continue to do that. They're going to man you up, and then they're going to try to disguise some things, defensively. We talked about, we like to they like to play man coverage. So the next play we're going to show here, I'm going to show a disguise, a blitz that they're disguising. People call it a bunch of different things. I grew up with it as a corner crash or corner cat. I think, Stray, you call it cowboy.
Yeah, we sure.
Yeah,
good job, man.
So what it is so your indicators. Your indicators for a corner crash or cowboy blitz is, a couple things. When you're in there and it's always going to come from the short side of the field. So if we look into the bottom of our screen here, okay, can they bring a corner crash? Yes, it's the short side of the field. And what will that do? What will that tell you? The next thing you do is you look at how the corner is playing the receiver. Is he playing him pressed? Is he's pressed on him like he is right now? Your next indicator is look up to the safety. That safety is going to start to, cheat a little bit down because he's replacing the corner that's blitzing. He has your guy in man. We said Washington likes to play man coverage here. So one indicator, boom, short side of the field on a boundary, check. The corner's playing press, check. Look at that. Look at the safety now. Is he creeping a little bit? Is he already over there to pick this receiver up in man? Check. What this quarterback needs to do now, he needs to slide his running back to the other side. And also, this wide receiver needs to be yelling, crash, 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 or alert, 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 alert. So everyone's tentacles are going up and understanding something could be coming over here. We talk about it, and you're going to see when we play this, it's going to break down. That corner's going to go in there. This safety's going to pick up that receiver in man coverage going across the field there. So, let's play it and take a look at it here. Boom, right there, corner crash going. He picks him up, and he gets home. He gets home on that.
That's a play right there. That's a play right there. He came from.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But also, too, that running back just ran past him. You never, as a offensive player, as a lead blocker,
put that up there again. Put that up there one more time.
Yeah, he ran past him. You never go past one to get one.
Yeah, you got to block him. You got to block him.
The quarterback's rolling that way. Why are you?
He didn't want none.
That's Tulsa, man. At least a chip. Slow him down.
You're right. Dive at.
But to the point there, that quarterback needed to go through their keys. That receiver should have been yelling crash, 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 or alert, alert, alert. That quarterback needed to move that running back to the other side of him. Say, hey, this gun's coming. So let's take a look at him. So
slide the line, protect the fan, get that tackle out there on that, because the center should see that too. Like if you're any good, you'd be able to see that. Like you're hearing the receiver yell alert, cowboy crash, whatever it is. Change the protection, check out of it, or throw hot. If you're on a rollout, you don't want to run away from that and get tracked down because he's a better athlete than you, clearly, quarterback. Noah Kim.
So they're going to want to do some disguising now. And then the next one we have up here, they're going to try to bring everybody up on the line. And this is where Stray, as the center, you're talking, you're looking at numbers, you're identifying who's the mic, who do we have, and let's communicate here, because they're going to bring they're not bringing everybody like that. Who has potential to come and who doesn't? Look at their stances. Who's in that motorcycle stance, who's on their heels a little bit, that they're going to have to drop back. So they're going to try to mug up everyone on the line of scrimmage to confuse Noah Kim. This is a young quarterback in his in his third start of the game. This is his first real big game. We're going to go out there. We're going to confuse him a little bit. We're going to confuse this offensive line. We're going to mug up in there. We're going to send some, but we're going to drop some. And this is the time that this drops some into, we talked about them playing a lot of man coverage this time here. They sprinkle a little bit of zone in there as well. So we can go ahead and play that, Tony. So everyone's lined up on the line there. Who's going to come and who's going to go? Boom, takes steps in and drops coverages.
Come on, left tackle. Come on, left tackle. Now, I got to believe Brandon Baldwin's going to be a lot better than that right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't let anybody go past you on the inside, man. Don't let the most dangerous man free run at the quarterback.
And so there's a question that I have. I was watching this game last week, and I was like, damn, they put this corner in a bad position playing this man defense here, for Tulsa. Otis, can you look at this? Because my thought process is you have to either go to a zone and pass things off, on the next play that we're going to show here. Because it's a speedster. You got to know your players, know who's doing what. They have a receiver down here. They're going to send in motion, and Tulsa's playing man coverage. This receiver's too fast to keep up with him here. Everything's going to go by, and it's going to be an easy walk-in touchdown here. So that's why I think sometimes you have to mix things up and have a little concept of zone there. He's not going to catch him.
Yeah, look, you got a good point. Like, when you're in the red zone, there is no way that you're able to get over there. Now, if you're in motion, you're locked in, and there's obviously pressure, you got to be on the hip pocket of him running in that motion. Line sight, you're running with him in same pacing, right? Or, hey, if we know we're both in man and we've been studying this, hey, he goes into motion, all right, that's you. Like, you bump out corner, like, you just take that. That's an immediate tackle for loss. Or a tackle, not tackle for loss, but that's easily no gain completion if my man's just sitting there absorbing that. I don't think it needs to have to necessarily change to a zone, because if you communicate it the correct way in man, you're bumping it out. Like, you say, hey, you carry that. Motion. He should hear that. He carries that. I take this other tight end, the tight end. We kind of bump down coverage-wise. Right. You had 3 tight ends in there.
Yeah, was that 13? It was that 13?
So you had 3 guys. Yeah, 3 tight ends. We know even double tights universally, it's almost that boot action, like play action almost, where they, you boot. But to this point, I'm all about like mano a mano, go man in red zone, because it's easier, it's less space to cover from that 20-yard line in.
Let's see that again, guys. Up so Otis, you guys can break it down. This is good stuff here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, this is master's class of football now. This is. I mean,
you see this corner here now. You got another corner, safety on the other side where everyone should bump. Obviously, linebackers are locked in. Like, you got running back, you got maybe a Simon on Penix Jr. Obviously, I knew I was gonna mess that up. The other safety, this could be free, where he's like roaming to make sure he's eyes on the QB. But as soon as that motion hits, this is an easy like, hey, I replace the person that obviously is leaving. So now this corner that's near us, obviously that's to the boundary, he's going to cover up this tight end now. And then you have the other guys, that far corner, he takes that motion and he's waiting. Like, honestly, if I'm that corner, I'm jumping to that hash and I'm just letting it come to me. Right. Now there could be issues where he can run out and do that out in route, but I think there's an element of I'm going to embrace it like a sponge and I'm going to wait for him to come to me. And that's an easy kind of interception pass breakup, because you know what to look for in this motion, in this set here. But I know. Look, it's tough for me to follow what Chew break down because Chew did a real deal masterclass on the offensive or the defensive side where I'm like, I don't got nothing to say right now. To be honest, look, I'm going to take it back to last year of what we could have done better to obviously prepare for this year against Washington's offense. Obviously, none of that has changed from year over year. You still got the same personnel, same guys from the receiver core and obviously quarterback. But, to look at – I just selected 2 plays because, honestly, that's what I thought we were supposed to do. 2 got 6 big plays, you know what I'm saying? So
always an overachiever.
Oh, man, he was going in.
Doing the most.
Straight. Of course, it's us offensive guys that's always planning more.
Boy, like Coach D said, you give him an instant, take him out. Good Lord, man. No, so we look at the last year's matchup. So, obviously, the momentum – quick offensive tempo, right? Like they came out guns blazing. And so basically attacking us, getting us on our heels. This is a play where you're going to see, when you see motion, sometimes it's just take you off your guards and your keys, right? Motion is just a distraction sometimes, right? So you get a distraction. He's not even peeking at this motion here. Now we got it covered up, but kind of rewind there. You got a slot receivers now. That one is on the line. You got McMillan on the line, and you got the other receiver obviously off the ball. Now, as you can tell, this is man coverage, right? Like you can tell what we just talked about that last clip. We bumped things up. You see, obviously, Kimbrough running obviously to the middle of the field because now he's covering this backside tight end, and then obviously you see corner coming up, getting that motion. Basically, this is what you should do with that last clip. Mm-hmm. Now, if I'm sitting here and we talk about man press coverage and we are man on man with these slot receivers, there is a signal to each guy, mirror speed and gross, look at each other. It's area. This is a man coverage. They cross routes. I'm taking the inside guy. You take the outside guy. There should be no reason why I need to cross over knowing that, hey, I'm off the ball, I can absorb that. This could be an easy, coverage sack, or it shouldn't be a deep ball pass. But play the clip, and you can see where out the gate he's already trailing, and almost like, hey, he's playing the ball looking back versus, hey, we talk about go to cool school. This is a slogan of Coach Barnett. You got to go to cool school. If you're out of phase with the receiver, there's no need for you to be looking back, because when you look back, you think you're faster, but you're slowing down. Get to the hip. Make sure you get to the hip. And when you get to the hip, best DBs, man, you're able to see that reflection on the ball and the pupil of the receiver. Yep. And then that's where you say, hey, eyes start to widen when that ball's coming. And that's when you make a look and you're in position. But right here is like out the gate, we could have alleviated this of Amir Speed, if that's on him on that other side. He takes McMillan, and you got him taking the other receiver. So there's an element of they're trying to get you on your heels quick, right? So you got to think ahead. We talk about chess moves. Think ahead to make sure you're covering the best ground and communication. Communication is key, because it looked like last year there was not that much communication. And we kind of saw where we didn't have our leader and Xavier Henderson. And so it was just all around, a bad deal for us. But now this year, we got speed at the secondary. Both safeties are young. Both corners are very locked down and very aggressive and hitting in the run game, which now they're really one-dimensional. So we know we're going to take care of run game, but how are we going to be able to control that air? And this is going to be the way to control the air is communication. Now, you look at it last year too. Now, they also, that second drive, they went 4 downs and tried to get into the end zone, and we had a solid goal line stance. And so we had Chris Bogle obviously healthy too. And I think now we have a stronger defensive front from a standpoint. Everybody's looking to eat, and when everyone's looking to eat, we all eat, right? So, if you play this clip, I mean, we talking about there's other clips, which I wish if I knew I had 5, I would have got the whole 4 clips here, first down. But look at the gap pressure that we got from our front line. Look at that. Like, we talk about everybody hats to the football, 3rd and goal. Now, look, every time here, look, he could have pitched that option. We are at look how many white jerseys are at the ball. No one's getting pushed to the end zone. Everybody's hunkered down, foundation, get into their gaps, responsibility, do your job. This is going to be how it is on Saturday. Do your job, and we will prevail. And so this is an element of consistent point of attack of the ball. Every chance you get, we got to put a lick on the quarterback. You got to wear and tear. You start to put some mileage on him. I think there's an element of where it could be some breakdowns where he's getting tired. So that's our goal. How many hits can we get to him, and how many sacks can we get so we can get free stacks?
Yeah, go back to that play real quick just so you can understand the trench game right here in those third and fourth and goal plays. You know, when you're on the line of scrimmage on either side of the ball, if we can rewind, you're taught to reestablish the line of scrimmage. So the defense is trying to get their feet to where that black line is. If you see that, that's where they want to get their feet. The offense is trying to do the same thing. Low man wins, and you're trying to reestablish a line of scrimmage. So when you look at this, when you roll the tape, you'll see those white, see how they come across the line? Their feet are across into that black line and beyond. It is impossible as a running back. Chew, you know this from being in that position. When you get that rock and you see the penetration, where can you go?
You can, you're it's either take what's given to you right there or try to bounce it and lose yards. So
that's it.
Yeah. Remember the board drills we used to do, man, where you like straight like, hey, win the side or the offense versus defense. Yep. This is like typical inside
That's
run.
Little league stuff. Like,
this is where we
fundamental.
Right. This is where we thrive on inside run. And this is where practicing inside run and every day, and then it gets to this point. This is where you thrive, because when you win these battles, that's a huge momentum shift of getting a goal line stand. So clearly, they obviously took that advantage. They did not respect us, and they was like, we're gonna beat him bad. Let's go on Saturday, man. Like, it's a different ball game. Like, this is a new team. This is a new mindset. We got something for those Huskies.
Well, man, that is outstanding stuff, guys, all the way through the 14 plays by Chew and the couple from Otis. We're breaking it down. You guys are master's class in football science right there. I mean, this is good stuff. You know, hope you like that. You know, don't forget we have the special ticket giveaway brought to you by Seatgeek coming up. Don't forget to go to the link in our bios on Instagram or Twitter /X to win 2 lower bowl tickets to the game this weekend against Washington to watch this stuff unfold for you. I think, so I have a sneaking suspicion that Michigan State has a great chance this week. I mean, if everybody shows up, they show up, and I know that team's going to show up. I know they're going to play their hearts out. And if you're there to support them, this is going to be that much better. Guys, look, I think this was a great breakdown by you both. I'm just moderating here. I'm just trying to figure this out. You guys look awesome. Awesome job. Don't forget to get to This is Sparta MSU to get any of your, merch. Choose book, run. Don't forget that either. This is that point in the show. Look, we gotta do it. Don't forget the book. Go to Amazon.
Before you send us home, Stray. Before you send us home,
I know you want to slow it down. Let's go.
One thing I want to just say before, we talk about winning games on the 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams. This week, there's 4 phases that we have to win. We have to win the offense, the defense, the special team, and we got to control the crowd. That has to be there. The 12th man, Spartan Nation, you are the 4th phase of the game, and we have to create a hostile environment for the Huskies, because trust me, that's a long-ass flight back home with a loss. So it's on us. The players are going to take care of business.
We know, because we did that last year. So
the players are taking care of business. We need Spartan Nation to show up and take care of business as the 12th man.
Absolutely. That's right. Noah Kim and company coming right at you. The reigning Big Ten Player of the Week will be in uniform and ready to play the game of their collective lives in that Spartan Green in Spartan Stadium, 5 o'clock on Saturday. We hope to see everybody there. For Otis Wiley, Jehuu Caulcrick, I'm Jason Strayhorn. This is Sparta MSU. Have a good night. God bless. Go green.
Go white.
This is Sparta MSU is a combined presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. The show is produced by Tony LaBarbera, Tony Gustella, and Process Driven Consulting. Additional support is provided by Brendan Duravage. On-location technical support provided by Good Fruit Video. Be sure to follow our host Jason Strayhorn, Jehuu Caulcrick, and Otis Wiley on social media. To stay up to date with all the latest This is Sparta news, please like and subscribe by visiting our link tree and tell a friend to do the same. Thank you for your support, and as always, go green.